Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today we got more leaks from Wilds of Eldraine, also being known as WoE, W-O-E, like whoa, which is what Wizards need to be doing about some of their printing. They need to be like whoa. But anyway, so let's hope it's not a whoa full set. But we got some bangers, so let's take a look at it. Before we get started, though, don't forget comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Prefer if you subscribed. Helps keep the channel sponsor free. I do appreciate it. For those who have, I love you. For those who haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Everybody else is doing it. Peer pressure. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start off with the Princess Flies on Horseback. White and 2 Saga. On the first one, you exile a creature. On the second one, a creature you control gets +1/+1 and flying. On the third one, return the exile card to the battlefield under your owner's control. I don't think this is removal. It will take something out of the loop for 2 turns, and maybe that's good enough for a tempo move. But I really think this is probably something you're supposed to be using on your deck, but we'll have to wait and see. Kind of a Rapunzel looking thing going on here. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Siphon Ego. 1 black sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card, then exile a card from your hand if you don't control a fairy. This is probably going to be good enough to see play. Just in general, it's a Thoughtseize without the life. The only problem is you lose a card as well. So it's not a good 2-for-1, but there's fairy decks in older formats that will greatly welcome this, accompanied with Thoughtseize or maybe instead of Thoughtseize. And if there's enough fairies in this deck, this may be the next Thoughtseize. Who knows? Next we have the Werefox Bodyguard. Great art, I like it. 2 white and 1 for a 2/2. It's a Night Fox with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, exile the 1 target non-fox creature until the fox leaves the battlefield. For a white and 1, you can sacrifice the bodyguard to gain 2 life. That's pretty cool. This is your basic creature white removal spell. It'll see play. They always do. I don't think it's going to have too much stuff in older formats. But maybe because you can target your own stuff with this one. And then sacrifice it to get that thing back for an ETB trigger or to save it, put it back into play, gain life. Lots going on here, so this has possibilities. Next we have the Gush Spellcaster. We won't get into what that sounds like. Anyway, a blue and 3 for the Elemental Wizard. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery spell, create a sorcerer roll and attach it to up to 1 target creature you control. That's probably not going to do a whole lot. At best, it's going to make something a 2. Wait a minute. It says 2/2 here. It says 2/4. Either way, it's not good in general. It's a 3/5 or a 3/3 for 4 mana. I mean, it's probably cool to put stuff on other tokens. If you got some shenanigans going on in limited, that's probably it. Now we have the Stormkeld Vanguard. 2 green and 4 for the Giant Warrior. Get it? Giant Warrior. But don't. Anyway, the Vanguard cannot be blocked by creature's power 2 or less. It's a 6/7. It has a sorcery adventure side for a green and 1. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. This might see play in standard. It is a little too expensive, probably to cast unless the game goes really long. But destroy target artifact or enchantment. This is basically a disenchant. If you want to play a disenchant and you're in green, you might as well play this because it's got a creature attached to it. It's just better. So yeah, lots of possibilities here, and I like it. Next we have Dutiful Griffin. 2 white and 3 for this 4/4 flyer. Hey, it's a Sarah Angel without vigilance. For a white and 2 colors, you can sacrifice 2 enchantments, return the Griffin from your graveyard to your hand. That's kind of cool. Good rate for a flyer, fine and limited. With a bonus of being able to get it back. I think it's going to see a little bit of play. Maybe not in standard or anything else, but this will see play to some degree. Next we have Flick a Coin. Red and 2. Flick a Coin deals 1 damage to any target, and then you create a treasure token. Draw a card. So before we had this exact same card printed, it would do this, deal 1 damage, draw a card, but didn't make a treasure token. So it's almost like mana ramp plus draw. It's not good enough really for any format unless Standard has lots of 1/1s. If Standard has lots of 1/1s, this is going to be a bomb card. And probably going to be great in Limited just because 3 mana, draw a card, make a treasure, a little bit of ramp. Maybe 1 damage is good enough. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't see this not getting any play. The Raccoon Familiar, green and 1, elemental raccoon, taps for a green. Basically a 2/2. Looks like mana dork. That for a green and 1, and tapping it, discard a card. You can return the familiar to its owner's hand. Okay. But also has an adventure, which is sift through the rubbish. 2 green and 5. Jesus. Mill 7 cards. Put a creature, enchantment, or land card from among them onto the battlefield. So this is really good. I mean, this is early game mana dork for acceleration. Late game, I'm gonna put big nappies on the field. Yeah, this is gonna have lots of possibilities. There's gonna be decks built around this. Easily a $5 card. Next we have the Veiled Shepherd. Anyway, white and 1 for this 2/2 Spirit Warrior. When he enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +2/+2 to end a turn. I mean, that's fine, but it doesn't have flash, but still cool. Great for White Weenie to pump up the team as they head in for battle. Next, we have Rendon Shadows. Black and 1 sorcery. It says creatures your opponent controls get -1/-1 to end a turn. That could almost be a good board wipe in the mirror match. So if White Weenie's the thing, you definitely want to play this because not only does it pump your creatures to attack normal people, but it can help board wipe the opponent field. So yeah, this seems like a really good uncommon. Next, we have Taken by Nightmares. 2 black and 2 instant. Exile target creature. If you control an enchantment, scry 2. Probably won't see a whole lot of play. Be fine for limited, but other than that. Next, we have Godric, Cloaked Reveler. 2 red and 1 for this 3/3 haster. Already good rate. Celebration. As long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn. He is a dragon with a base power and toughness 4/4 now with flying. And for 1 red, dragons you control get +1/+0. So he turns into a dragon and pumps your whole team. This is going to be probably really good for the dragon deck. I know he's not a dragon, but he turns into one. Plus, he's on a good rate. You could probably easily turn him into a 4/4 flyer to go over the top for extra damage just by casting spells. I could see him seeing play in standard, definitely commander. Maybe some older formats. I just don't know. Maybe not, but it's possible. Next, we have the Red Cap Gutter Dweller. Well, what a name. 2 red and 2 for this 3/3 with Menace, which is okay. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 black rat creature tokens. Now it's great. 4 mana for 5 power, plus 2 creatures you can sacrifice if you need to for shenanigans. Great stuff. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice another creature. Oh, there you go. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on the Red Cap Gutter Dweller and exile top card of your library. You may play it this turn. All right, take it back. This card's amazing. The fact that on your next turn he becomes a 4/4 because you sacrifice the 1/1 rat, because why wouldn't you? And you get to get a card off top of your deck and play it. Like, this is going to see so much standard play in any red deck. I don't see why you would not play this. This is amazing. And it may see play in older decks. Because how are you gonna kill it? Like you gotta shoot it or something because it has menace. You're probably not gonna have 2 blockers. Yeah, like I see a lot of potential with this. This looks like a powerhouse card that's gonna see a lot of play in standard. Next we have Virtue of Persistence, 2 black and 5 enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Oh boy, that is something. For a black and 1, target creature gets -3/-3 to end the turn. You gain 2 life, even helps you stay alive. This is going to be all over standard. I mean, I know it's 7 mana, but you're already playing the multiverse card, which is the same mana to pick out 1 spell on each side. This just sits on the battlefield. You start pulling creatures out of graveyards. There's going to be a black control deck with this in it. I can see it now, where you just steal your opponent's stuff and beat them in the face. And if they don't have stuff, you will have good stuff too, because you'll either mill or have some form of creature that will eventually end up in the graveyard and come back to play, triggering ETB effects or some other random shenanigans while you wait to get this. Plus, this is a removal spell as well. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. I don't see how it doesn't see a lot of play. God, it's busted. Anyway. Next we have 3 bowls of porridge. Gee, what's that remind you of? So this food token, or not token, but card, 2 colorless comes into play. You choose one. You it's a food token. It's a food card. Ugh. For 2 and tapping it, you choose one that hasn't been chosen. It deals 2 damage to target creature. That's pretty good for 4 mana for colorless. Tap a creature and then sacrifice it to gain 3 life. I don't think it's good enough to see standard play, but definitely in limited. Yeah, not pretty nice. Next we have Ice Rot Sentry, blue and 2 for a 2/3 of Vigi. When he attacks, you may pay a blue and a colorless. If you do, tap target creature an opponent controls. That's pretty good for limited. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, the Sentry gets +2/+1 to enter turn, making it a 4/4. That is a limited powerhouse. Probably not good enough for standard, but maybe. Although I would still say probably not, because this is what blue is trying to do. Next we have Not Dead After All. 1 black instant. Until the end of turn, target creature control gains. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield, tap under its owner's control, create a Wicked Roll token attached to it, which is +1/+1, and when this aura goes to the graveyard, each opponent loses 1 life. This is probably the best save card combat/combat trick that we've had yet. This will easily be put into modern in the deck of elementals that you evoke into play, because it comes back bigger, and if they do manage to kill a creature once it comes in, they also lose a life. It does everything you want and then some. So foil copies of this are going to be expensive probably, and this card is going to see modern play because of the elemental deck in modern that just won the Pro Tour. Yeah, so this is a thing. Next we have Return Triumphant, white and 1. Sorcery, return target creature card mana 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. Create a young hero roll token attached to it. If its toughness is enchanted creature has, whenever this creature attacks, if its toughness is 3 or less, put a +1/+1 counter on it. I mean, this is fine. We get these before. It's a common, whatever. It'd be good and limited. Lycanus Looter. I think that's how you say that. Anyway, it's a fairy shapeshifter. A blue and a black for a 1/1 flyer. Not bad. Tap, draw a card, discard, Merfolk Looter. Merfolk Fairy Looter. Does that make him... Never mind, I won't go there. For X, the Looter becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, mana value X, except it has flying, and this ability activate only as a sorcery. This is going to be a powerhouse card, because it can become anything that's in your graveyard. And it can change over and over. Yeah, this will see play. It's not going to be expensive, but it will be definitely a thing. Next we have Talon's Messenger. Blue and 2 for this 1/3 flyer. Whenever you attack with 1 or more fairies, draw a card, then discard. When you discard a card this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target fairy you control. Now, this is the kind of shenanigans that blue's into. If there's a blue deck of some kind or a splash color, this card's going to be in it. There's nothing better than filtering through your deck while making your creatures bigger. Just saying. Next we have Extraordinary Journey. 2 blue, 2 X. Or 2 blue, XX. Let's say it that way. When the journey enters the battlefield, exile up to X target creatures. For each of those cards, its owner may play it for as long as it remains exiled. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures enter the battlefield, if 1 or more of them entered from exile or was cast from exile, you draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. This is going to be a hardcore commander card, because as you know, commanders come in from exile, literally lay this on 2 blue on the first turn, and anytime the opponent plays their commander, you get to draw a card. Or any other shenanigans that from exile, which a lot of those decks in Commander have exile. I think this card is good. I think people might be sleeping on it because I haven't heard people talk about it. But this card was going to be great in Commander, and Commander is going to drive the price up. Not to mention, I mean, for 4 mana, you can get 1 creature in Limited or Standard. That's fine. I don't know if it's good enough. But this is definitely a Commander card, and it's going to be very similar in play style to things like Smother and Tithe, Mystic Remora, and the such. So mock my words. Now we have the Soul Guide Lantern. Is this a reprint? This is a reprint. Oh my god. 1 colorless, Soul Guide Lantern enters the battlefield, exile a card in the graveyard. Tap it to exile each opponent's graveyard, or tap it and sack it to draw a card. I can't believe they're reprinting the Soul Guide Lantern. Huh. How about that? Next, we have Ashiok's Reaper, black and 3 for this 3/3. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Ooh, that sounds nice. This could be great for limited. Maybe even good in standard if you get some kind of weird shenanigans where you start putting roll tokens into the graveyard and drawing cards off of them because they are enchantments. Wow, this could be good. All right, next we have Bitter Chill. White and 1 aura enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during control's untap step. When Bitter Chill is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 colorless. If you do, scry 1, then draw a card. This is the blue removal spell. This is going to be good in limited, standard, commander, damn near any format. It slices, it dices, it makes julienne fries. I mean, the only reason it doesn't do more is I think the text box wasn't big enough. Good God. Yeah, this is a pretty piping hot uncommon. I'm impressed by this. Oof, boy. Gadwick's First Duel, blue and 1. No read ahead, so you get 1. You create a cursed roll token attached to up to 1 target creature. That creature obviously becomes a 1/1. 2, scry 2. 3, when you cast your next instant sorcery spell mana value 3 or less this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is an amazing removal card. Not only does it nerf the opponent's creatures, it does make it small enough for you to kill them. You get to scry 2 and then copy a spell all on turn 2. This is probably going to see play in several formats. I'm going to put this in my commander deck. If there's a blue deck in standard, I don't see why it wouldn't play this because of what it does. And I hate to say this, but I think this might be a spell that you might see in some older modern decks get put into. I mean, this might be a spell that you prep up. I'm a Storm player, so excuse my ignorance, but I mean, if you've got a Manamorphose and this thing goes off on turn 3 while you're prepping to get ready, this thing goes off and you Manamorphose, and you Metamorphose, let's say, for 1. So you basically draw 2 cards and net 3 mana. Like, that's just absurd. Not to mention the other spells that you may cast that may do other shenanigans much like that. This is going to be a very, very big powerhouse, I think, in several formats. All right, now you got some nerve section. That's right, we're going to talk about the enchantment slot, or the enchanted, quote-unquote, slot for Wilds of Eldraine. Let's see how much nerve they've got this week on their reprints. So, we're going to start off with Omniscience. So, it hasn't been reprinted in a while, so that's fine. It wasn't in Commander Masters, so nothing to get too nervous about here. However, the art is pretty cool, not going to lie. Do like it, so kudos on this one. Grasp of Fate, 2 white and 1. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile 1 target non-land permanent that player controls till this thing leaves. Fine uncommon, nice art. Wasn't in Commander Masters, so I'm cool with it. Goblin Bombardment, oldie but a goodie. Red and 1, sack a creature, deal damage to any target. Wasn't in Commander Masters, so I'm good with it. And the art is also hilarious, so yeah, kudos. Next we have Rest in Peace. So it wasn't in Commander Masters, but a good card to reprint, so I do like it. The art's kind of weird, I guess. I probably would have went more, or maybe I was going to say I'd have went more with a graveyard scene of lots of tombstones, but maybe that's kind of what this is, as these are souls maybe, and this is the fields of great. Anyway, point being, Rest in Peace, white and 1, exile graveyards. All cards going to graveyards get exiled. Great reprint. I like it, so not too bad. Next we have Parallel Lives. Green and 3 enchantment. Effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control. It creates twice as many tokens instead. Hey, look at that. We finally got something that's not Doubling Season that does what Doubling Season does. This is cool. I like it. I don't think it was in Commander Masters. I mean, check me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I didn't open a lot of Commander Masters, so I don't remember seeing it. But then again, the Commander Masters I did open, there's a lot of cards I didn't see. So, but anyway, there's that. This is cool. Like the art. And that's all you have it. So no nerve this week. Or today they calmed it down, not to upset anybody, and I appreciate that. Doesn't do good for my blood pressure. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Till next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.